the way I define boundaries are the limits that we set around what we will or will not do, will or will not tolerate, and will or will not accept. And boundaries are very personal. So my boundaries are personal to me. What's okay and what's not okay for me. And my boundaries are between me and me, even if they involve someone else. So the biggest myth about boundaries is that other people cross them.
Right. We let them,
So,
in other
yeah.
words.
So if my boundaries are being crossed, I am the one crossing my own boundaries.
Yeah.
And once we get that, that's when we can really make a shift because then we're not pointing a finger and blaming someone else. We don't stay in victimhood. We move into responsibility and empowerment because our boundaries are our responsibility to name to ourselves and to uphold. So it's not anyone else's responsibility to uphold them. So a boundary is not you need to or don't. A boundary is here's what's okay and not okay for me and how I am going to take care of myself.
What a brilliant way of putting it. I absolutely love the way that you just said that. And you're so right. Like you say, it's not about what somebody else does or doesn't do. It's what we allow or don't allow somebody to do. And the
Right.
responsibility is entirely on us. Now, you mentioned the word victimhood, which is a word that I have definitely mentioned multiple times on the podcast because I 100% used to be a victim. I would blame that thing or that boss or that guy or that friend or that situation or whatever it was. And for many years, because I was feeling so damn sorry for
Hmm.
myself, it did not occur to me that I was acting like a victim. And
Hmm.
had somebody said that to me at the time, I would probably have, said something I might have regretted. But these days I look back and I can see 100% that I was. And so because of that, it is a message that I quite passionately want to try and, hopefully as gently and sensitively as possible get across because when it comes to being single, for example, or
Hmm.
not having kids, maybe it's even more relevant to, well, it's relevant to both, but maybe it's particularly relevant to someone who hasn't had kids because, not by choice, because they weren't able to.
Right.
Um, but really what I would love you to speak to our listeners, because it is essentially this notion that we need a partner to be happy, and this idea that, and I'm not saying, there are many single women out there who don't feel like that, and I know that because I'm in touch with them.
I
But
know.
I
I know.
Yeah, but I
Yep.
also know that there are plenty of them out there who are
Yep.
feeling very sorry for themselves because they're
Yep.
single. They feel as though if only they would find a guy or a girl, and then everything would be fine. They, find that quote unquote other half, a phrase that I absolutely loathe. But really, as you'll know from the podcast, one of my main messages is to say to women, whether or not we're going to end up in a relationship down the
Yep.
line, we do not nobody needs a partner in order to feel whole, in order to feel fulfilled, in order to feel content, happy, satisfied, peaceful. You just don't, because it comes from within. So I really want to hear from you on this because I'm pretty damn sure you're going to have some words of wisdom. So take it away.
Oh my goodness. I mean, we are soul sisters
I
in
know.
this, Lucy. I mean, yes. So, first, just to give context, I will share I do not have children, have never wanted children, not for 1 second. I love being an aunt. My sister
Same.
has kids. I love being an aunt. I never, ever wanted children. And it's interesting because I'm the older sister. And ever since, and I got married first. And my mom kept saying to me, "Why do you keep telling me you don't want children?" And I said, "Well, you keep asking me. So if you keep asking me, I'm going to keep telling you." I was like, that's very simple.
That's a great response because you keep asking me. I love it.
That's why I keep telling you. So if you stop asking me, I don't need to tell you anymore, you know?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And yeah, so I never wanted children. I was my 18-year marriage, I will share more about how I blew it up. Uh, and then I did have a relationship post marriage, post my divorce, but I have been out of relationship
I'm sorry
since,
about Johnny
let's see.
meowing. I'm so sorry. I just had to interrupt you
Oh,
because
I
my
didn't even
cat
hear
has
it.
oh, did you not? Because he has such
No.
a loud meow.
Oh,
Sorry,
no, let him
Nancy.
meow. I like
He just came
he
through
has
the
things to
window.
say. He has things
But
to say.
he's we'll have to we might have to deal with a few meows throughout the
That's
rest of the
quite
episode. But
okay.
I'm so sorry. Carry on.
No, 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 that's totally fine. Uh, I've been out of relationships since tw 2018. So that's 6 years, I guess. Yeah. And in that time, I haven't dated or anything. Like I have zero interest. And it's also interesting because people will say, "Are you dating?" And I say, "Why would I?"
Oh my God. Another brilliant response. I
That's
love that.
literally what I say. Why would I do that to
Oh my
myself?
God, that's
I
hilarious. I love
know.
it.
And the truth is, I love more than anything, I love my alone time. And I've heard you talk about this so much. I don't want anything. I don't want to wake up next to someone. I don't want to go to sleep next to someone. I don't want anything infringing on my time. And so, and the benefits of relationship that other people seem to talk about, I don't hold as true for me. I could say it that way, you know. Uh, so I feel very strongly about the position I'm in around really getting to design the life that I love and really getting to make choices that work for me. In a recent podcast episode of mine, I shared this I shared this sort of realization that I think my teenage self had it right because as a teenager, I just wanted to hang out alone in my room. I didn't have very many friends. I just wanted to read and write in my journal and do my own thing. And my parents thought something was wrong with me. I was a straight A student, so it wasn't about my intelligence, but they just thought something was wrong with me. And that message got super imprinted.
Right.
There must be something wrong with me. I'm being
Yeah.
looked at under a microscope. And
Another
so,
stigma, the stigma of spending time alone.
exactly, right, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So I I did the things that I was sort of supposed to do, but you know, I didn't date or anything when I was young. I mean, I didn't, even like barely knew what a boy was till I went away to college at like 19. And then I even remember I lost my virginity and I'm like, really? This is what everybody's talking about? I'm like, really? But, and listen, I've had great sex in my life, but I also am like, ugh, who needs, like, it's so much drama. My life is so drama free, single. Like, that's one thing I can say. Being
Totally.
single, I have so much space in my brain to focus on things that are a much better use of my energy than the drama of, like, what do I need to do or say to make everything be okay? Is he mad at me? Blah, blah, like all of that bullshit. I like have zero tolerance for any of it anymore.
Oh my God.